This is the 4.3 teaches video. The problem we are given is that we have to find the critical numbers of a function, and our function is f of x equals negative 12x to the fifth minus 75x to the fourth plus 80x third plus 1. And to find the critical numbers of a function, we A, first have to find the derivative of it, B, set the derivative to 0, and C, solve for x. So first we have to derive this, which will mean we'll have to find f prime of x. Now, with all these exponents, all we have to do is just apply power rule, which is just going to give us negative 60x minus 300x third plus 240x squared. Right, and the derivative of 1 is 0, but it's 0, so I'm just not going to put it there. So now we have found the derivative of this function, which means we set it to 0. And after we set it to 0, we have to solve for x, which means we could factor. So we'll factor our negative 60x squared and the x squared plus 5x minus 4 equals 0. So now we have two critical points. Negative 60x squared equals 0, which is ultimately just x equals 0, so that's one of our critical points. And x squared plus 5x minus 4 equals 0. And to solve this one, it's a little bit more tricky, because this one is going to require the quadratic formula. And me personally, I absolutely despise using the quadratic formula just because I don't do it often. So that'll be x equal excuse me, negative 5 plus or minus square root 25 plus 16 over 2. And remember, quadratic formula, we're just plugging in a, b, and c, so there's an invisible 1 for a, there's a 5 for b, and a 4 for c. So, that's where these numbers are coming from. So, if you could solve all this and get a decimal out of this, but our 3 crit points is basically x equals 0, x equals negative 5 plus or minus square root. It's 3 because, again, plus or minus. I'm just lazy, which is why I don't want to rewrite the whole thing. But when you're doing this, you take your quadratic and you have two versions of it. One version, there's a plus. Another version, there's a minus. So always remember that. So it's actually 3 critical points, x equals 0, and the 2 versions of the quadratic formula.